Why isn't this state doing it? That's my only question. That's the whole point. Why do we have something in place to do it and we're not?
We all know someone who has heard those three words, you have cancer, or maybe someone has said it to you.
It's a life-altering diagnosis and a costly disease to beat. That's why 44 states, plus Washington, D.C. and Guam, passed laws establishing what are called drug repository programs.
More than a dozen states offer programs that accept cancer drugs. They help put unused, unexpired medications in the hands of patients in need.
But at a time when some people need to decide between paying their mortgage or affording medicine, KDKA Investigates found out our state's program is in name only.
The hard work already has been done here in Pennsylvania. Our cancer drug repository program was actually enacted back in 2008.
Yeah, but local people are finding out that there's not really any way to access it.
I just think it's worth finding out.
Inside Jeff Finesky's Katanning home are memories of his daughter and boxes of her unused medications.
These are two cancer drugs, and they're valued at over $30,000 for 1 month's supply. And the copay was like $1,400 for that.
His grief sometimes shifts to frustration when he looks at the hundreds of thousands of dollars of medications that couldn't cure his Michelle. He lost her in December.
Even her last day was amazing. And I think she knew. I think she knew it was coming quickly, but even her last day, she was smiling.
At just 27 years old, Michelle became one of nearly 28,000 people to die from cancer in Pennsylvania last year alone. And now her unused cancer drugs will join the other $3 billion worth of cancer drugs thrown in the trash each year.
I have a huge box of stuff that it just seems like nonsense to throw it away, but I don't know what else to do.
He called KDKA Investigates and asked why he read legislation online talking about donating unused drugs, but everyone still told him to toss them. He read this 2008 Cancer Drug Repository Program enactment, a way for approved participating pharmacies to dispense unused cancer drugs to people in need. Surely, he thought, Michelle's unopened drugs could now go to good use, but he couldn't find out anything more.
What's the holdup? Because I think all that law in 2008 did was open the door to say this can be done. But I think that's where it stopped.
KDKA Investigates learned the PA Department of State oversees the program, and a spokesperson said our program isn't designed for regular people to donate to it. Just institutions like hospitals and pharmacies use it. We asked for a list of all the participating pharmacies across the state and learned only 2 signed up, a mom-and-pop store in Philly and a large hospital's pharmacy in Hershey. We talked to both and found out nothing happened after that initial sign-up. One of them even said, quote, "I've never heard of that program, but it sounds like a great idea."
It almost feels like now, looking back at it, that the program was rolled out, but not much effort was put into making sure it really resulted in anything meaningful.
Pharmacist Jitu George runs one of them, the Shop and Carry Pharmacy in Eastern PA. He said the state reached out to him years ago asking him to sign up.
And we were one of the pharmacies that did it. And, it's been several years and we have not had any drugs channeled through us.
Even with a law enacted, states still need to develop their programs. State Rep Latasha Mays thinks something's standing in our way.
I can see there being great benefits. Of course, the cost savings is undisputable, undeniable. Iowa, Michigan, and other states who have enacted, Georgia, who have enacted this type of program, this repository program, they're saving billions.
She thinks other states have found a way to avoid the waste. In Michigan, regular people can donate to the program beyond just institutions and pharmacies, helping people avoid going into further debt to cover cancer-related costs.
We don't want to waste the opportunity to save lives. Forget the cost of the drugs. We don't want to miss this very clear and present opportunity to save lives.
And for Jeff, he knows his daughter would want to see something happen with this medication.
Sometimes you look for a good thing in a tragedy, and I just saw it as an opportunity to maybe try to get some answers and maybe make something good, positive come out of a bad thing.
So not only is our state not offering what many other states have figured out and found great success with, our program as written, where those unused medications should end up at the participating pharmacies, still is not happening. And we're not saying these two pharmacies don't have any donated drugs right now. They say that they have never received a donated cancer drug while being a part of this program.
Wow, certainly eye-opening there. So I'm curious, as I was watching this, if this is a way potentially for cancer patients to get all of the medications they need, or if the donated supply just isn't there.
Yeah, a lot of times the supply isn't there, and I don't think it's really intended for that. So many states, though, as they got their programs up and running, they would wait until they have about enough supply for 6 months or so. They'd spend 6 months collecting before they went online. Also, for many cancer patients, they say this is just a resource when they're in between insurance plans. Maybe you're dealing with a short-term high copay, as some Medicare patients experience from time to time. Just think of it as like a bridge when you're maybe dealing with a financial tough month.
Yeah. So now that you are bringing this to light, is there any indication that the other pharmacies are going to join those two out east that are already doing this right now?
Right, yeah, we're running into some issues. I mean, as of this morning, Pennsylvania's Department of State had said that they still have no one who can do an interview about this, even directing us, saying we should call the Pennsylvania Pharmacists Association, saying that they could possibly have some institutional knowledge on this.
Yeah.
So that's the Department of State saying that they don't have the institutional knowledge on this, which is telling. So we're going to keep at it. We'll have a follow-up.
All right, Megan, thank you.